discovery to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. On July 22, police officers responded to a 911 call that led them to apartment 213, occupied by a seemingly unassuming man named Jeffrey Dahmer. What they found inside was far from ordinary, unveiling a scene of unimaginable horror that would shock the world. The officers had stumbled upon the gruesome aftermath of a string of murders that had been occurring undetected for years. The odor of decay hung heavy in the air, a grim foreshadowing of the horrors that awaited within the apartment. Inside Dahmer's refrigerator, officers discovered human heads, meticulously wrapped and preserved. The freezer held a macabre collection of body parts, torsos, limbs and organs, all neatly packaged and stored as if for some grotesque future consumption. Scattered throughout the apartment were tools of Dahmer's grisly trade power tools, used for dismemberment, knives for butchering, and photographs documenting his gruesome acts. Adding to the macabre tableau, investigators found large blue drums, their contents hinting at a sinister attempt to dispose of human remains. The presence of acid and other chemicals indicated Dahmer's efforts to obliterate the evidence of his crimes, a desperate attempt to erase the physical reminders of his victims. The sheer volume of evidence recovered from Dahmer's apartment was overwhelming, but it was the meticulous analysis conducted by the FBI's crime lab that would prove instrumental in securing justice for his victims. Forensic experts descended upon the scene, carefully documenting and collecting every piece of evidence. DNA testing, a relatively new tool in the early 1990s, played a pivotal role in identifying the victims, many of whom were young men from marginalized communities. Through painstaking analysis of bone fragments, trace evidence, and other bodily fluids, the FBI was able to link Dahmer to each of the victims discovered in his apartment. The forensic evidence was irrefutable, painting a horrifying picture of Dahmer's crimes and leaving no doubt as to his guilt. Faced with the overwhelming weight of physical evidence and the undeniable truth revealed through forensic science, Jeffrey Dahmer confessed to the murders of 15 young men. His confession, delivered with a chilling detachment, provided gruesome details of his crimes, detailing the methods he used to subdue, torture, and kill his victims. He described his acts of necrophilia and cannibalism, painting a portrait of a depraved and deeply disturbed individual. Despite the horrific nature of his crimes, Dahmer's lawyers pursued an insanity defense, arguing that he was not in control of his actions. However, the jury ultimately rejected this defense, finding Dahmer guilty on 15 counts of murder. He was sentenced to 15 consecutive life terms, a sentence that ensured he would spend the rest of his days behind bars.